Okay, hello guys, good day wherever you are. It is of course a Friday and this is the eBitcoinics TV on top of our show, our weekly webinar. And as we stated last week, we would be doing question and answering over the week, and it's so amazing to see a lot of numbers on top of this session. And we've received quite a numerous questions from most of our viewers. In fact, our first video we did, thanks to all of you, we've been able to achieve over 15,000 views on YouTube, and that is very encouraging. We know we have we have much more to do and deliver. So I will just go straight to the point with the questioning. We had our team actually taking down and noting down these questions, and I will just request for it. Then we just go straight to the point. This session is very fast. We are not wasting anybody's time. We are not going to spend much more than enough time, and we just make it as quick as possible. So quickly, I go to the chat screen. All of you can see as well. And with that, we had a first question from one Daniel. He was asking, what is an ICO? Actually, an ICO is an initial coin offering. And initial coin offering is in the sense that it is a process or a medium of which startups get funding for their ideas. They get funding to establish their ideas. There have been ICOs before. Initially, in big ventures or enterprises, they call it IPO, public offerings and all that. But with the cryptocurrency era, we call it initial coin offering, which has to do with, for example, you have a brilliant idea which you cannot finance that particular idea. Now, the entire ecosystem wants to believe in the fact that you can do what you are saying you could do, and they all they buy stakes in your company in the form of buying the coins you creating. Like they buy the coins you creating, and that with the funds that you get for the tokens you have created, you use it to liberate or take care of the vision or the idea you would want to implement. So ICOs help startups get funding for their projects and their ideas, but just that a whole lot of people are abusing these ICOs and all that. You just have to make sure whichever ICO you are investing with, the project is worth it, and you also verify the teams behind those projects before you put in any of your unwanted dollar. And the second question from the same Daniel, he said, how are you that sure that an ICO is going to come out with something good? Actually, that is what I was trying to say. Sometimes you have to first try as much as you can to study the project. All right, you can study the project by visiting maybe their website, trying to get in touch with them over social media, and asking questions, the team behind it. Try to verify the team behind those projects so that you know for sure it is worth your investment. If not, you run away from it. Over the years, from 2016, 2017, 2018, we've seen lots of projects that promise they are actually going to do a good ICO. At the end of the day, they are not even in the system anymore. So you just have to make sure you pay attention to what you are doing. And then we had another question from one Nini, and then he says, how do I join Bitcoin? Actually, Bitcoin is a revolution, and all of us, we know. Right, and you don't join Bitcoin just like that. You don't join Bitcoin. You either use Bitcoin. Right, it's actually a solution. So you use the solution. So you have to decide how you want to use the technology. Right, there are not more than 3 or 4 ways you can get involved with Bitcoin. First, you can buy some Bitcoins. You keep the coins with the hope that when the price goes up, you sell it. And the second option is also you can try to invest in Bitcoin mining. Mining happens to be the backbone of Bitcoin. So when you mine Bitcoin, it's like you have your money working for you. And then we also have trading. Just like we trade the stock market, the forex market, or any business market, like any market you can think of, we trade it because we have to make liquidity out of it. Now you can trade cryptocurrencies. For example, you have Bitcoin, or you don't have Bitcoin, but you have currencies you can trade and then convert it into whatever. At the end of the day, you make your profit and you are so good. And then the next question from Emmanuel, he says, what is ETF and what impact will it have on Bitcoin once it is approved? Actually, ETF happens to be a global resolution, all right? A global resolution that has something to do with regulatory bodies, you understand? Now, we are all hoping that Bitcoin gets an ETF, just because once this is approved, it is going to also bring in investors. Like, it is going to bring in lots and lots of potential investors, people that would now appreciate the fact that this is a very good technology. So we have to accept the fact that this is really good. So ETF in short is actually exchange traded fund. So basically, maybe you are trading an asset or a commodity, right? What you do is you have funds that are backing that commodity or asset you are trading, so that in case there is something wrong on top of the road, they can use that as a form of liquidity or as a backup liquidity to take care of the mess. You understand? So ETF is kind of going to bring in security on top of the entire blockchain ecosystem. So for example, if it is for Bitcoin, it is going to give some stability to the entire Bitcoin ecosystem, and that is something very important. We all know that it is not easy, especially it must pass through lots of regulation. It must be accepted by the Security and Exchange Commissions globally. They have to accept the fact that this is going to be good or not, and then they implement it based on country-wise strategies. You understand? And then we have one Abdul Fattah in Ghana. He was asking any partnership with BTC Ghana in view. I don't know what he was going to say. Any partnership with BTC Ghana? Well, actually, if you think you have anything to do with us at eBitcoinics.com, you of course can come. Just give us your proposals, what you think you could do, or if you think there is much more thing we together can do for the Bitcoin ecosystem all over the world. Of course, our doors are open. You most welcome, and we would listen to you with attentive ears. And we also had a question from one. It says, what causes the rise and fall of Bitcoin prices? Actually, all of us know Bitcoin currently is it has passed the stage of just being a commodity, but also a very important asset in all of our lives. Now, there are two basic things that carry Bitcoin. That is demand and supply. So it is two separate conditions, right? Now, if there is so much demand that people are no longer willing to throw away their assets or their holdings in any particular form of asset they have, it constantly helps the market grow. If the opposite is also going to happen, of course, you know there is going to be a decline in price, and that is what can actually lead to price fall. But with currencies that are traded, there are a whole lot of factors that goes around to factor whether the price is going to go up or down. Some of the factors include, of course, we have maybe news that are coming in, whether the news are good, the news are bad, and maybe, you know, things like that causes that. And when you come across the news, you have to relate to your own senses whether this news is bad or good, and you just make a decision out of that. And we also had one from the Australia, Alex Solo from Australia said, when is eBitcoinics coming to the north? I think can I be your agent over there? All right. Whether you are in northern Ghana, southern Ghana, wherever Ghana you think you can find yourself, eBitcoinics currently is operating all over Ghana and Nigeria. So we don't need to physically be present almost everywhere, but you can have access to all of our services comfortably on our website, eBitcoinics.com. And if you think we need to be physically present in your community or your town or your region, of course you could drop us a proposal and we would very much consider that as well. And then we had a question from Daniel. He says, if the market fluctuates widely, why invest in it? That is a very intelligent question. But anything that is worth fluctuating, okay, is worth investing. You can't make money in markets that are stable. Anything that is stable is not worth investing. You only invest into things because you have some level of hope that this project is going to give you profit. Now, if the thing is so stable and so comfortable and not doing anything, whether going up or down, how are you sure you are going to get or cash out returns from it? So it is the volatility that makes trading very interesting. And to every businessman, volatility is serious business. Anything that can go up, come down again, go up again, and repeat that almost every time is worth investing in. So the volatility is very, very, very much strong for Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem. But you see, somebody asked a question about ETF. Now, the one main importance of the ETF has something to do with correcting higher rates of volatility. Though it's scary to see the price of Bitcoin this morning around $8,000 and tomorrow it is around $7,000. Of course, every potential investor, every investor that takes calculated risks or calculative risks would want to reconsider his options. That's why, as a new technology, a lot of innovations are coming in to give it some more stability when it comes to prices. And then we from Joshua, he says, how can I earn from Bitcoin if the price can fall and rise? I think that is what I just explained. So if you are trading Bitcoin for trading purposes and the price is going down, you just have to make sure you trade in such a way you grow your number of coins you are holding, not the US dollar worth. As well as if the opposite is happening and the price is trending upwards, is going bullish, what you need to do is to cash out against your US dollar amount you invested. And we also have one Aminu. He says, is Bitcoin an investment? If yes, how do I start? I think we answered this earlier with regarding how do I join Bitcoin, but it is somebody's question I can't ignore. Yes, Bitcoin is not an investment. How you take Bitcoin makes it look as if it is an investment to you or not. You can just decide to use Bitcoin for your whatever purposes, probably pay your school fees, maybe pay for your hospital bills, maybe pay for your flights, your hotels, whatever you can think of. But that is not an investment. You're only using the technology called Bitcoin. No investment equals no returns. That is if you want to be an investor. As an investor, you must put in money to make money. Yeah, so you have to invest in equipment. You have to do what the system or the entire ecosystem requires of you to do before you can cash out on that. And then we had a compliment from Emmanuel. He says, thanks so much for the explanation on the Bitcoin ETF or whatever. Thank you so much, bro. It is because of all of us and all of us here we are doing this, and we really appreciate you as well for being a part of today's session. Hope to see you next week as well, God willing. And we have one last question. He says, why is eBitcoinics more concerned about education? What do you stand to gain from it? Actually, it is our vision to see this evolution in every household in Africa. In fact, we started with Africa and now we are penetrating towards Asia. We want to make simplification easier. We want to simplify this ecosystem, this evolution, help people get to understand. They might have a better reason to capitalize on it, even much more than us. So what we gain out of this is the fact that we see people doing the right thing with the right technology. This is big, and considering the number of individuals in the world that don't even have access to bank accounts is scary, especially when you come to Africa. Now, this is a technology that simplifies banking. Even the IMF justifies that. The IMF is saying Bitcoin makes banking easier thanks to the blockchain and so cheap for you to do banking. So this is one of the reasons why we cannot stop what we are doing right now, but we have to continue doing much more, and every day with our innovative skills, we want to come up with something new that would help the journey much more easier for us. So guys, thank you so much for this session. We've had quite, I think when we are going to allow everybody to continue asking questions, we would end up not getting done with today's session. And it's very much important we know this is a very short meeting, a very short brief meeting, and you have to share it with your friends. Next week, invite your friends to take part in this. Our first video was so awesome. In fact, we had over 15,000 views, and it's not a joke. To us, it means a lot. It means people are paying so much attention to what we are doing. Thanks to you so much, guys. Wherever you are, from Germany, I think we had guys in Ghana, Nigeria. Wherever you are, we say hello to you and enjoy your weekends as you go. And we will see you next week, God willing. Be reminded by our media team that you should follow us on Facebook, you should follow us on Twitter, and also possibly Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, tv.eBitcoinics. And I was your host today. Thank you so much for being with us, and see you next week, God willing.